there are 28 other state capitals in Nigeria where inauguration will be taking place, where new governors and their deputies will be sworn in. 8 states will be silent, as it were. They have to wait for the inauguration of their state assemblies. And what are these 8 states where we are not going to see
Ondo,
the swearing in of new governors?
Ondo State, Edo State, Ekiti State, Osun State, Kogi State, Bayelsa State, and Anambra State. So 8 they have.
And Edo State.
Yeah, Edo State. I mentioned Edo State. So those
8
are they
of
have
them?
off-season elections. But Amechi, interesting development. Some states where opposition political parties won, we understand the state governors have done the handover yesterday, and they are not attending the inauguration of the new president, new governors today, and that is not.
That's in bad taste.
Yeah, that is not patriotic enough, Amechi, if I must say. If the state hired you for 8 years and you served first tenure, second tenure, and you are leaving, it behoves on you to show patriotism, to show the love that the state had for you for 8 years.
Did Donald Trump attend the inauguration of Joe Biden?
Right. You know the issue surrounding Donald Trump. He didn't attend, but you see, that is America. This is Nigeria, and we must show example as leaders. When they say two fighting, somebody settles them, and they expect to shake each other. And the spirit, sportsmanship should be what we see among our politicians.
But Jonathan was there in 2015.
Yes, some people will tell you from now to tomorrow, Jonathan is a good man. It has to do with the personality also, not only the office. So that is why the questions are being asked daily. These persons that occupy these offices, do they have the personality enough, big enough to occupy these offices? Or it's just by opportunity they get and they jump in and they begin to learn from there. And some of them never learn until they leave.
Maybe some reasons why some of these state governors, because we always see things from a different perspective, all the sides of the coin, including the edges. Some of them are challenging the indeed victory of the state governors in court. And if they attend, the explanation could be that they are legitimizing an illegitimacy. So that's why some of them may stay out. But the good thing is that whether you stay put or you stay out or whatever is the situation, the inauguration will go ahead.
We go ahead. And just like we expect opposition political parties to honor invitation, it's an invitation extended. And whatever happens after that, it doesn't really matter. It's an invitation extended. It shows how your personality, let me put it that way, it shows how acceptable you can be. You can be quarreling with your wife. It doesn't stop you from coming into the house to eat her food. That is for those that are married. So we see across the states a peaceful, or we expect a peaceful handover for those that are handing over across the states. We expect a smooth handover of the documents. Like Otom yesterday said he's handing over 187 billion debt to the incoming governor.
It was forthright.
And so that will be interrogated further by the incoming government.
Salaries and pensions.
I mean, one striking thing is we are seeing some appointment being accredited to the president at the tail end of his living. And we ask questions. The president will appoint an envoy at the tail end of living. The president will appoint somebody to represent him while he's leaving office. So we need to ask.
Is it to represent him or to represent Nigeria? Does this? Some may ask. His tenure ends 12 noon today or so on during handover. Should he not indeed exercise the functions the office bestows on him? The point you're raising is quite cogent. That there are some sensitive appointments you should not make. You should consult your demand to succeed you.
Yes.
So it's a delicate balance. Going forward, we need to interrogate such things further, legally, morally, and other. But like the argument, I'm still the president, I'm still the governor till the last minute, so I should continue to exercise those functions. But after the inauguration, we expect to begin to hear of announcements. Usually, a president makes 3 or 2 initial appointments before hours later or days later, the others will begin to roll in. You usually get to hear of who is the chief of staff to the president. You usually also get to hear of who is the special advisor, media and publicity to the president. That's the spokesperson. You may also immediately begin to hear of who is the secretary to the government of the federation, who is the national security advisor, who is the head of service. This may take hours or days, depending on how fast that president is indeed making this announcement. There are so many other special advisors, special assistants, not to forget the ministers, where the constitution demands that they should appoint at least one from each state of the federation. That one may take days.
Yes, I think Amaechi, the president-elect, has shown that he's prepared to lead this country to high heights. Someone will say the grass is always greener on the other side, but I believe that the grass in Nigeria is very green. All we need is watering. We need to water it. That's why we appeal to the president going forward. You put spare peg in spare hole, and not put round holes in spare peg and spare pegs in round holes in your appointment, because Nigerians are watching. The whole world is watching. As you make your speech today, and as state governors also make their speech, they should give encouraging speeches that the people can carry and go to the market with and say, yes, this is my governor that made this speech. Yes, this is my president that made this speech. I believe that he will do it. In the next few days, we should be seeing signs that, yes, this speech means what they say inside of it. So you look at the faces of Nigerians in Eagle Square, Mr. President-elect, and you speak boldly to them that I said this is Emilokon. I have an ambition to be your president, and I promise to do this. And if you fail, you have told us that we should hold you and not pity you. So I am number one that will not pity you.
Okay, you have a responsibility to hold him and every other public officer, especially political office holders, to account. Once he takes the office, out of office, the clock will start ticking for Bola Tinubu. It ticks so fast. You think you have time, you don't have time. The first 100 days presents the first opportunity for evaluation of performances, and there are huge tasks, huge decisions to be taken. And as he's taking in and making appointments and settling in, tomorrow, Tuesday, the court case will resume at the Presidential Election Petition Court, perhaps an indication that it is not yet all over for Bola Tinubu. The PDP and Labour Party challenge of his electoral victory will continue at the Presidential Election Petition Court.
But we do not want that for him to make that a distraction. He should focus on what he has come to the office for, whatever the court decides, but let him focus on the work that we have given him to do.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Who has arrived? Yes, the president-elect, dignitaries at the Eagle Square rushing to have a handshake while the security agencies are giving the necessary protection. Of course, the wife, Remy, is right there by his left-hand side as they make their way, accompanied by the SGF boss Mustafa, to the state box at the Eagle Square in Abuja, where perhaps 10 a.m. Nigerian time, that's in about 13 minutes from now, the transition, the inauguration ceremony will commence. Have a good time. My name is Amaechi.
So the SGF is 10 or 2 ends now, man. He goes with his press.